guys, this is Rosakelly. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be creating a super quick mini album, and this book is going to be very simple. If you're a beginner maker, this is the tutorial that you want to follow. And yeah, so before we go ahead and start, I'm going to just share with you the supplies that we are going to use. So we're going to be using some chipboard, so I went ahead and cut two pieces. These are 8.5 by 7 and one piece that is 8.5 by 3. Then I have here some double-sided tape, and some glue. So I used the art glitter glue for all my paper, and the double-sided tape, which is very practical for the binding process. And then I'm going to be using two color cardstock, and my cardstock at Michael's, the Recollections brand, is the one that I use. And then I'm gonna be using also the 65 pound cardstock for the craft color. So I'm gonna be using these two here. I do have everything linked on my Amazon store, so including this paper cutter. I've been getting a lot of questions where I got my paper cutter, so it is on the Amazon store. And also I'm gonna be using a scoreboard. So if you never made a mini album before and you plan on making multiple, because let me tell you, once you make one, you're gonna be addicted. I highly recommend getting a scoreboard. It just makes everything so easy. And so yeah, so now we are gonna go ahead and start with our tutorial. So we're going to start with our black cardstock. I'm going to use 3 pieces, and we are going to combine these or join these together. So I'm gonna use my glue here, and we're going to make this long piece. Okay, so I'm just gonna press, and we're gonna do the same here. Combine these two, so join these together. Then we're going to be using our double-sided tape. So I'm going to be adding double-sided tape on my chipboard. So I'm just going to add a couple pieces on each one, just to hold it down to the cardstock here. So I'm just gonna add 2 and then 1 piece at the center, and the same for the spine. I'm gonna add my tape here, and then 1 more piece right here. And I don't like adding a lot of tape or glue here on the front, because I like doing that when I wrap the book, so I don't get any wrinkles on my cardstock. Now I'm just going to peel off the tape and place these pieces down. Okay, so I'm going to place this down, and then we're going to place the other 2 pieces, leaving a little space in between. So I'm just gonna get this tape out here, and we're gonna leave a space of about 1/8 of an inch and place it down. And then same thing with the other piece here. So I'm just gonna peel off my tape and remove, and then we're just going to leave a space between these two and place this down. And next we're just gonna cut the extra. Okay, so I am just going to cut extra here, and then cut the corners out. So when you cut the corners, you want to leave a little space to your chipboard. You don't want to cut directly right next to the chipboard piece here. Okay, so now we are going to add our double-sided tape all along here on all the sides. Okay, so we're just gonna press down and press down on your tape, and then same thing on this side there we go. And next we're just going to fold the cardstock. So here you want to take your time and just fold this up and slowly push this down. Okay, and every time you press down, you give it a little bit more weight on it and fold it down. Don't go all the way directly, go in stages because you don't want to crack your cardstock. And then we're just gonna press down now. And now I'm ready to remove my tape. And then also I'm going to add more glue here on the sides that are empty and the corner. Okay, and then just fold and press down. And you want to score here on the gaps, so give it a score, and then go around the chipboard on the side as well here. Okay. Now we're going to do the same for the other side. We're gonna start folding. So fold this up and then start pushing this down. Again, just slowly here first. And then once you have it all the way down, you're gonna give it a good fold. And now we're going to remove the tape and add the glue. Okay, and then just fold and press down. And we're going to score on these gap lines as well, and then just go around here and fold the sides. Now again, you're gonna go slowly and then press down. Let's remove the tape and add the glue and fold this again, press down, and then we're going to fold this up and press down, and then we're going to remove the tape and press down. And there you go. So that is going to be the binding of the base of your book. Now I am going to switch to the craft color cardstock because I'm doing a bicolor book, but you can just continue everything on one color, of course, up to you. And I'm going to open this up and just grab a few pieces here. And we are going to cut one piece. Bring this over. I'm just going to put this on top. So one of these pieces is going to be 5.5 by 8.25. And then we're going to do two pieces. So I'm just going to cut two pieces here. And these are going to be 6 3/4 by 8.25. Okay, and now we are ready to glue this down. So I'm going to take this to the side, and we are going to start with the piece that is going on the spine. So I'm just going to glue this here. So we are going to add glue on the gap sections, or next to the gap sections on each side. Okay, and then we're just gonna glue this whole piece down. So lots of glue on this piece, and then we're just gonna put this right here at the center, and then you're going to press down. Okay, and then just give this a minute here to dry. Then we're going to add the two other pieces, one on each side. Okay, so I'm just going to glue this one, and we're gonna put one on each side here. Okay, so press down, and then the other one. Oops. There we go. And place this one down on the other side. And then again, just give it a minute here to set. And there we go. So now we are going to use a ruler, and we're going to score along the bending line. So you're gonna see the gap line, the scores that we did here, you're gonna see on both sides. So just match that to the top and bottom here and give it a score. Okay, and then let's do the same over on this side. Okay, so we're gonna match these gap lines and score, and then we're going to fold this up slowly, and then as you fold you want to score again so the cardstock goes into that void or gap area, and press down, so that way you get a nice line here, nice folding line. Fold. Let's do the same on the other side. I'm gonna slowly fold these and then score. As I fold this up, I score a little bit more until eventually I can fold all of these. Very nice and neat here for my bending lines. Look at that. Oh, I love the bicolor of this book here. So that is gonna be the binding, and now let's do the pages. So now we're gonna work on the pages. So for the pages, I am going to be cutting 5 pieces of my craft color cardstock, and these are going to be 8 1/4 by 11. So I always like to double check the 11-inch side also, because sometimes the cardstock comes in different, you know, a little bit bigger or whatnot. So we're gonna double check on that. So 8 1/4, and I have here, I need 3 more. 8 1/4 by 11. So again here with the 8 1/4, and then double check on the 11-inch side. Okay, and there we go. So now we are just going to score all of these pieces along the 11-inch side. We are going to score at 1/2 inch, at 1, and then we're going to score at 7 1/4. Okay, and we are just going to repeat for all the pages. So again, a super easy book here to create a nice base. So 1/2 inch, 1, and 7 1/4, and again 1/2 inch, 1, and 7 1/4, and 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1, and 7 1/4. Okay, and then we have the last one again here, 1/2 inch, 1, and 7 1/4. And there we go. And now we are just going to fold all of these pieces. So I'm gonna fold along the 1/2 inch and the 1 inch, and then we're gonna fold this one here as well. Okay, so these are gonna be our pages. So let's do the same. 1/2 inch and 1 inch, and then we're gonna fold. So some of these flaps I'm folding to the front and some I'm folding to the back, just to kind of switch it up when we add our pages first. Okay, so again I'm just gonna fold the 1/2 inch, and the 1 inch are going to be our hinges, and then our flap, and then next here 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and I guess this one I will fold to the front, and then one more time 1/2 inch, and fold this one here, and there we go. So those are gonna be our super easy pages. And now let's bring our book back. So I have here my base back, and we are just going to start adding our pages. So I like to start from the back and move towards the front. So we're just going to add glue on this 1/2 inch section here, and then we are going to place this right next to that bending line of the spine. Make sure that you are not on top of the bending line, so just give it a little space and start gluing your first page here, and then just press down, clean any extra glue if it comes out, and there we go. So now we're just gonna fold this back and press down, and now we're just going to do the same. So now the next 1/2 inch I'm gonna glue it right next to the previous one, so we're just gonna add the glue here and place that right next to this one, press down, so give this some minutes to dry, and then fold, and then press down here again, and then we're going to do the next one. So add the glue, and then we're just gonna place these right next to the previous one, and then press down. Okay, and then we're gonna close or fold this here. And now we're gonna continue with the next piece, and then I'm going to place this one right there, press and down. Okay, and then again just press down over here, and then we're going to add our last page, and place that right next to the other one right here, and press down, and there we go. So now we have all of our pages here on our book. So you see that some have these flaps, and then some are plain, some have the flaps here again. It's funny how they work out here as a mirror page, and then this one's are flat, and then this one has another flap there as well. So that is gonna be our album base, super quick and easy. I hope that you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Let me know if you want to see more layouts added onto this book. Don't forget to leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.